the grand finale of Prison Break Season 4. In this episode, all the characters we've grown to love find their most fitting destinies. A man wraps his biological mother's limbs with tape. Driven mad, he drags her to the bathroom, where he turns on the scalding hot water to interrogate her about what she really plans for his brother, Lincoln.
Come on! Come here! Ah! Where is he? Where is he? Where is Lincoln?
Upon learning that Lincoln is walking into a trap set by their mother, Michael rushes to the scene to save him. Before leaving, he leaves a gun behind, instructing his girlfriend, Sarah, to shoot Christina if she tries to escape. If you think Michael is ruthless, then you certainly don't know enough about this hard-hearted woman to sell the invaluable Scylla for a higher price. Christina hires an assassin to kill an Indian national leader, framing her other son, Lincoln. By the time Michael arrives at the venue, it's too late. Seeing the police have blocked all exits, the brothers can only hide in a corner. Meanwhile, the highly intelligent Christina won't just surrender. She looks around, trying to find a way out. Minutes later, Sarah, guarding the door, hears Christina's shouts. Unsure of her intentions, Sarah cautiously opens the bathroom door, gun in hand, only to be met with Christina's inexplicable insults, infuriating Sarah, who then slams the door shut. What Sarah doesn't know is that a thin wire pulls down a corner shield, which Christina uses to cut the tape and make noise again to lure Sarah. The moment Sarah opens the door, Christina overpowers her and takes the gun. Christina ties Sarah to a table, intending to shoot her, but a subconscious gesture to protect her belly catches Christina's attention. Recognizing that Sarah is pregnant with Michael's child, Christina's remaining shred of conscience prevents her from killing Sarah. After escaping, Christina manipulates the media to report that the brothers took money from Pakistan to plan an international assassination. Krantz, watching on TV, is shocked and sees through Christina's grand scheme. Realizing she intends to start a war, the assassination of the Indian leader would prompt India to buy Scylla and seek revenge, leading Russia to strengthen its borders. And within a year, Europe, China, and the USA would all be drawn in. Then Christina could sell Scylla to these warring nations, becoming a global arms dealer. Enraged, Krantz, realizing he's been played by Christina, orders Ralph to rescue Michael and Lincoln, as they know too much about the company and could spill secrets if captured. Krantz, with his extensive connections, manages to get police uniforms and successfully extricates the brothers from the venue. Back at the hotel, disappointed in them, Krantz decides to make an example by randomly choosing one to kill through a draw. Unfortunately, Don is the unlucky one. As Ralph is about to shoot, Don pushes him away and jumps from the high rise. Krantz guesses correctly. Christina is talking with Indian Prime Minister Nandu, whose son was the assassination victim. The son's death drives Nandu to irrationality, planning to use Scylla technology to wage war against Pakistan. Soon after, Nandu hands Christina a check for $750 million, with Christina promising to transfer the Scylla data within 4 hours. Unexpectedly, right after Nandu leaves, Christina instructs Darren to contact Pakistan, suggesting they might also be interested in Scylla. Even Darren is appalled, urging Christina not to proceed.
Reach out to China.
Michael has a good guess of Christina's next move. If Scylla is sold, the money must be collected through an overseas wire transfer, typically taking 3 business days, unless authorized by a Federal Reserve Bank, ensuring immediate effect. Before disappearing completely, Christina would surely withdraw a small amount to confirm the money's arrival, meaning they just need to watch the local Federal Reserve Bank to find Christina. Michael and the 3 of them rush to the bank to find Christina actually withdrawing money from the bank, and next to Darren is the box with Scylla in it. However, as fugitives, the brothers can't show their faces without the guards opening fire immediately.
Then, maybe they shouldn't see our faces.
Everybody down on the ground, now! Nobody move! Nobody gets hurt, you down!
All the banks in Miami, what are the odds?
The trio don masks and rob the bank, seizing Scylla. Before leaving, Lincoln doesn't forget to send a greeting to their mother, and it's this greeting that allows Christina to deduce their identities. Christina immediately orders the bodyguards ambushed at the entrance to act, to cover for Michael's escape. A fierce gunfight ensues, and Lincoln, lagging behind, gets surrounded by agents. Meanwhile, to prevent Michael from keeping Scylla for himself, Krantz has Teabag capture Sarah.
No hands. Thanks to your boyfriend. Now, as I was saying before, I just need your cooperation.
By this time, Michael and Mahone have reached a safe place, and upon opening the case, they find Scylla intact. Just as Michael breathes a sigh of relief, Krantz calls. He's seen the news about the bank and knows Michael has Scylla. Krantz threatens Michael, saying if he doesn't hand over Scylla, he should prepare to collect Sarah's body. But then Christina calls right after hanging up with Krantz.
I have something you want, although I'll never really understand why.
However, Christina is more ruthless. She shoots Lincoln at the edge of his lung.
Looks like you have a little decision to make. Scylla, or someone you love.
This becomes the hardest decision Michael has ever had to make: save his lover or his brother. He's plunged into deep despair. In theory, one of them will inevitably become a casualty due to his choice, but the pragmatic Mahone reminds him that Lincoln is about to die from excessive blood loss and suggests saving him first. After all, we have one advantage: neither party knows the other also has a hostage. We can use this time difference to defeat each separately. Following Mahone's advice, Michael immediately calls his mother, arranging a meeting at the container port in half an hour for the exchange. Michael arrives first at the trade location, setting up bombs ready to send his evil mother to the afterlife. Soon, Christina appears with Darren, and Michael sees Lincoln handcuffed in the car. Michael leads his mother to retrieve Scylla, intending to lure Christina into triggering the bomb, but Christina suddenly stops. At this moment, dock workers recognize Michael's fugitive status and immediately call the police. Seeing the police closing in, Christina hastily orders her bodyguard to go and seize Scylla. The moment the bodyguard touches the tripwire, he is instantly killed by the explosion. Christina never imagined her own son would attempt to kill her. An angry Christina curses Lincoln but accidentally reveals Sarah's pregnancy. Meanwhile, Nandu calls, questioning why Scylla hasn't been handed over to him yet. Christina, extremely anxious, threatens Lincoln, saying if Michael doesn't call within 10 minutes, she'll blow his head off. Krantz also calls Michael, asking why Scylla hasn't been delivered yet. If he doesn't see it within an hour, he'll let Teabag have his way with Sarah. After many days, Teabag has once again pulled out his evil trouser pockets. After hanging up, Michael immediately calls Christina to confirm if Lincoln is still alive. To get Scylla, Christina can only hand the phone to Lincoln. Michael asks Lincoln to give any useful information to help rescue him, but Lincoln shakes his head and reveals Sarah's pregnancy, urging Michael to forget about him and save Sarah instead.
Sarah's pregnant.
Hearing this, knowing she's about to lose her leverage, Christina quickly grabs the phone, hangs up, then viciously stabs her high heel into Lincoln's wound.
You asked me how I could just sit and watch my son go into the chair. The answer is simple. You're not my son.
Nandu, having not received Scylla, tells Christina he's returning to India and cancels the deal. Christina pleads for more time, but Nandu refuses to listen and hangs up, enraged to the point of madness. Christina points a gun at Lincoln, accusing him of ruining her $750 million deal. Just as Christina is about to pull the trigger, Mahone calls. He tells Christina that Michael has taken Scylla to exchange for Sarah, but he proposes a deal. If she can eliminate the man Krantz sent to watch his ex-wife and spare Lincoln's life, he will help her retrieve Scylla. Without a second thought, Christina agrees to the deal, having no better options. Meanwhile, Michael calls Krantz, arranging to exchange Scylla for Sarah in a parking lot in 20 minutes. However, Krantz doesn't plan to bring Sarah, as he never intended to let Michael leave the parking lot alive. But when Krantz arrives, he finds no sign of Michael and discovers the case in the corner is empty. Realizing he's been duped by Michael's diversion, Krantz hurries back to his base. Michael was on his way to rescue Sarah when he climbed up the balcony without the bodyguard noticing. Inside the house, Teabag is eagerly anticipating his next move. Just as he is about to unzip his pants, Michael hits him on the head with a metal rod. Angry Michael wants to kill Teabag, but Sarah stops him, not wanting their unborn child to be the child of a murderer. On the other side, Mahone meets with Christina and hands over Scylla, but Christina wants to verify its authenticity and locks up Mahone, who then sees the injured Lincoln. It turns out Michael and Mahone had planned for Michael to save Sarah and Mahone to save Lincoln. Before handing Scylla over to Mahone, Michael had already removed its core component. When Christina's men find they can't connect Scylla to a computer, they're unaware it's been rigged with a timed bomb. Mahone plans to detonate it, but at the crucial moment, the remote control fails. Christina enters the room demanding to know why the Scylla data won't open. Mahone, feigning innocence, manually activates the bomb while they're distracted. He suddenly stands, knocks down Darren with 2 punches, kicks Christina to the ground, and rushes into the room. Seeing the situation turn dire, Christina grabs Darren, using him as a human shield. Michael successfully rescues his girlfriend Sarah and his brother Lincoln and secures Scylla, which all factions are after. Krantz, having lost everything, flies into a rage, blaming Teabag for everything, accusing him of failing to even handle the delicate Sarah. Just as Krantz is about to shoot Teabag, Sarah's forgotten phone on the table suddenly rings. Knowing this is his only chance to live, Teabag quickly answers the call. To his surprise, the caller is Sucre, whom he hasn't seen in a long time. Sucre wants to know Michael's whereabouts. Teabag lies that they have been captured and says they might be overheard on the phone, so he arranges a face-to-face meeting with Sucre. After hanging up, Teabag turns to Krantz and tells him that capturing Sucre, Michael's close friend, would surely draw out Michael. Under the watch of bodyguards, Teabag meets Sucre at the agreed location. Teabag doesn't beat around the bush and tells Sucre to wisely come with him. He points to the upper left corner, claiming the company's top assassin sitting behind could blow his head off at any moment. However, before Teabag can finish, the top assassin is already dead.
What's up, Jethro?
Teabag turned around and realized that the man pointing the gun at him was Benjamin from the Fox River State Penitentiary. But how did Benjamin and Sucre come to be together? After bidding farewell to Lincoln, Sucre has been living a life on the run with Mary Cruz, always on edge. One day, he runs into an old acquaintance on the street. Benjamin swears he's there to help them clear their names, having recently met a mysterious figure who can wipe their criminal records clean if Scylla is handed over. This person promises to use Scylla's technology for the benefit of humanity, allowing them to live like normal people. Sucre is skeptical until he meets the person and finally believes Benjamin's words. Benjamin, finding Sarah's phone on Teabag, immediately sends Michael's number to the mysterious person. On the other side, Michael and his group, dragging the severely injured Lincoln, hide in an abandoned warehouse. Now they are not only wanted criminals but also hunted by both Krantz and Christina. But even so, Michael is determined to destroy Scylla, the root of all evil. But then a phone call comes in.
Hello, Michael. You're a tough man to get a hold of.
It turns out the mystery man is none other than Agent Paul, who died 2 seasons ago. Paul reveals he was saved by Michael's father's organization and has since worked with them. There's a United Nations commissioner arriving in Miami at 5 o'clock. They've cooperated with the UN, promising to clear all their charges if Scylla is handed over, and Paul promises to use Scylla's technology for the good of humanity. Doubtful after being deceived many times, Michael doesn't know whether to trust Paul, especially since Paul has hunted him multiple times. As Lincoln's gunshot wound worsens and he's at risk of bleeding to death without proper treatment, the group rushes him to the hospital. Sarah, not a fugitive, sneaks in to steal surgical equipment but is caught when Krantz's bodyguard smashes the car window. Ralph, using Michael's phone location, finds them, and they're brought before Krantz again. On the TV screen is Lincoln's girlfriend, Sophia. Krantz threatens Michael, saying if Scylla isn't handed over within half an hour, Sophia will become a corpse. But Krantz doesn't know that 2 people have already infiltrated the room unnoticed.
Don't move. All right.
Sucre and Benjamin, having pressured Teabag for information, find the location. Michael also threatens Krantz to call and release Sophia. Seeing Sophia leave on the screen, Michael intends to kill Krantz, the source of everyone's misery, but Sucre stops him. He reminds Michael that he came to rescue him not for revenge but to clear their names and regain their innocence. Eventually, they tie Krantz to the railing. As the sound of approaching police sirens grows louder, the group, dragging a barely alive Lincoln, hurriedly departs. Seeing the police cars catching up, Sucre once again steps up, driving another vehicle to block the passage, buying time for Michael and the others to escape.
Go!
Now, With Sucre captured and Lincoln critically injured and on the brink of death, Michael has no choice but to place all his hope on Paul. But Paul's phone goes unanswered. Lincoln reminds Michael to turn off his phone, as Krantz had just located them through the phone's GPS. However, before Lincoln could finish, Christina, along with her henchman, arrives. After a bout of gunfire, Christina, holding a gun, searches and finds Scylla hidden in a cabinet. As Christina prepares to leave, Michael suddenly stands, threatening his mother to drop Scylla and her weapon. Christina was convinced that Michael wouldn't kill his own mother, but to her utter surprise, Michael, filled with deep-seated hatred for her, actually pulled the trigger. Unfortunately, the gun was empty of bullets. At the critical moment, Sarah shoots Christina from behind, ending her life. Christina's bullet also hits Michael in the shoulder. Needing to hand over Scylla to Paul before 5 o'clock and without seeking treatment, Michael rushes to the meeting point. On the way, he looks to the right and to the left, and any sign of movement makes Michael wary. As he neared his destination, 2 men stopped Michael. Once brought to an office, Michael finally meets Paul and the UN commissioner, handing over Scylla. When connected to a computer, it seems a component is missing. Even at this moment, Michael still harbors doubts about Paul. Because Scylla carries the lives and freedom of many people, he would not easily hand it over to someone he is still not very familiar with. After much persuasion from Paul, Michael, trembling, installs the blood-stained component into Scylla.
I'll make the call.
You did it. It's over.
This gamble finally pays off. Soon, Paul gathers all of Michael's old friends from the prison break gang, and they sign immunity agreements. All hostages held by the company are freed. Countless days and nights of struggle and escape coalesced into this moment of bitterness and emotion. They embraced each other and cried. This time they were finally completely free. Paul tells the group that Teabag, also claiming to have helped find Scylla, requests immunity. Paul did not explicitly agree to Teabag's request for immunity. Instead, he left the decision to the prison break gang through a vote.
You took a vote. You're in luck.
Like a day.
What we voted on was whether or not you took a stick of gum on the van ride back.
Ultimately, without any surprise, Teabag was unanimously voted back into Fox River State Penitentiary by everyone. With matters finally settled, Michael and Sarah walk along the beach, contemplating the future. However, Sarah's smile freezes as Michael's nosebleed returns, signaling his cancer's resurgence. They embrace tightly, not daring to think further. Time flies, and 4 years pass. Mahone and his former colleague Felicia have settled down together. Lincoln and his girlfriend Sophia open a surf shop by the beach, their only concern now being LJ's education. Sucre and Benjamin each enjoy a happy family life. Paul brought down the company and became a rising star in politics. Don, having jumped into a river to escape, ends up in a vegetative state. Krantz, for his heinous crimes, finally faces the electric chair that Lincoln nearly sat in. Teabag is once again the boss of the Fox River State Penitentiary, and he's still surrounded by a little heel who pulls on his pockets.
But lay it on me.
On a beach bathed in the sunset's afterglow, several graves stand solemnly. Sarah, along with the child she shared with Michael and a few old friends from the prison break gang, gathers here, paying their respects at Michael's tombstone. To Lincoln, he was a fiercely loyal and passionate family member. To Sucre, a brother in arms, sharing a bond stronger than blood. To Mahone, a friend with whom he shared deep mutual respect. And to Sarah and their child, he was the husband and father who bore the world on his shoulders, giving his all. The story of Prison Break Season 4 also came to a perfect conclusion amidst everyone's relief.